Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ball Agenda Reveal Show, also known as Bars. I am joined on my left by Mr. Chinedu Asunugo and on my right by Mr. Emeka Nwani. How you doing, Chinedu? And then Emeka.
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. I'm looking forward to today's content.
Yeah, I'm great. It was a good day of football today, so looking forward to analyzing and chopping it up.
Awesome. So I have one. We're all going to go through the fixtures that where our results stand out from the weekend. I'm going to start. I will go with Sheffield United and Leicester. Sheffield United holding on for a 1-1 draw. Seemed like they were going to get there finally. As many points as they can get on the board right now, I think will make a world of difference. And last minute, very disappointing from John Egan as Vardy races through free on goal. I honestly think the same way Valverde brought down Morata a couple years ago, he should have just taken him down, taken the red card, saved his team, got in the 1 point. He lets him go through. And Vardy, once he gets through on goal one-on-one with the keeper, he's one of the most reliable strikers in the league. So that result stood out because, one, I didn't think Leicester particularly that great, but also it might mean that is the end for Chris Wilder, but remains to be seen, and we'll keep watching. Emeka, what was it for you?
For me, definitely Spurs, Chelsea. I think we're seeing the transformation of Tottenham into a full Jose Mourinho
Spurs
side.
Arsenal.
Spurs Arsenal, my bad. And it's they're on the phase where they got to, like, when Madrid had that run where they scored like 120 league goals. I can see that Spurs team transforming into that in terms of thinking. I even tweeted at 1-0 that Arsenal were comfortable. They seemed very much in the game, but that's exactly what Mourinho wanted. And before, in the blink of an eye, they had got the second and it was game over. So I'm seeing things from the Spurs side that I don't think I've seen from a Spurs side in my lifetime. So for me, that's definitely this transformation is definitely why this is the key result for me this week.
Lifetime, that's crazy. What do you think about the Højbjerg Sissoko double pivot?
It's incredibly functional, but it makes so much sense because you see Sissoko, he got so much criticism before. He started stepping up, but like Mourinho is playing him in the perfect situation because he's not asking him to do too much. He's not asking him to assist. He's just asking him to go box to box and not even contribute offensively per se, but in terms of those being a pure ball winner, which is what I feel is his best role because he doesn't have the technical abilities to do other things. But Højbjerg, for me, has just transformed that team. And I compared it to Matic for where Mourinho signed him in the second stint, where you have a good team with flair players and, you can get great results, but until you get that guy that completely just binds the team together and gives it the ultimate balance.
For balance, yeah.
Now you can see the team has completely been transformed by a player as unremarkable per se as Højbjerg, but those kind of players are so key. They're so key in terms of knitting a team together and taking them from, potential challengers to potential winners.
Awesome. That's a really great take. And I was really impressed by Lo Celso just coming in and filling in for Ndombele. What was your result, your standout, Chinedu?
Yeah, I just want to say really quick that players like Højbjerg will never ever get the recognition.
I was gonna say what you said on Remarkable. I was like, they never get the recognition, but
he'll never win the Player of the Month or
I voted for him on 3 devices: iPad, iPhone, laptop. Do the same out there if you see it.
But yeah, so my result of the week may be a bit biased, but it's United West Ham. Just because I think the team that I put out was quite interesting. So Pogba comes back into the squad, BDB plays as well, and Greenwood gets a start. And I expected us to just straight up beyond their necks, but they had, I think, 12 shots in the first half as compared to our 2. So they really, really, took the game by the scruff of the neck and they got to go first. And then credit to Ole for bringing in Bruno and Inshallah, and bringing in Rashford as well. And kind of just changing the dynamic of the game. Pogba goes and scores a fantastic goal and it opens up the game very, very, very much. And then we took the game by the scruff of the neck from there. So I think it impressed me by kind of the mentality that the United team showed. And this is the first time that United has won 5 away, their first 5 away league games since like 1985, I believe.
And nine in a row,
smashing their own record. And I think it's important to note, this is why we're not the managers. Like, as much as we like to give Ole stick, I saw a lot of people saying at halftime, why are you bringing off Van de Beek? You should be taking off Pogba. But West Ham are playing a high press. Like, maybe we're oversimplifying football, but they're playing a high press. You bring in Bruno, for better or worse, whether his conversion, like success rate, is not that great with those through passes. He likes to play those passes.
Way more risky.
And you bring on Rashford for Cavani,
Just
someone who's going to get in behind. It's so simple, but everyone thought, how can you do this? This makes no sense. And we saw it work to devastating effect.
Going into the second half, when he made those changes, I had a group. One of my group chats said, Cavani and Van der Beek have been two of our best players. Why is he taking them off? It's not a change of system. It on paper it looks like, because you're bringing on a striker and you're bringing on a Khan in that role, but they are very, very different. Like, they play a different role in the team. So Van der Beek is too safe, and as long as he's safe like that, you're not going to have, even if Cavani is making those runs in, Van der Beek is always going to keep it simple, or simpler than Bruno will. And Rashford is way quicker than Cavani, so he has the legs on him. Every single time Bruno Fernandes got that ball, and that's what gave us those goals, he looks up, Rashford is in behind already, he throws the pass. It's as simple as that, but obviously we might be oversimplifying. But yeah, to the next topic.
Awesome. Who were your players that you thought you were most impressed by this week? I'll start with Chinedu, then I'll go, and then we'll go to Emeka.
I think the person that impressed me the most was Giroud. So off the back of a fantastic Europa League showing, I say Europa, I'm mad.
Pedigree.
Fantastic.
He doesn't do that anymore. He left that life in the past.
I'll be honest, why I said Europa is because of Sevilla. Those guys, they always Europa. So off the back of a fantastic Champions League showing in a game that they actually had to win. So
Sevilla have never had anything to play for at this stage of the Champions League, so they didn't know how to manage themselves.
Exactly. I joked on my group chat and I said I feel like they still they've qualified, but they can still end up in Europa. But yeah, he scores 4 goals and obviously proves why he should be starting. And I think that's big ups on Lampard for recognizing that. And a lot of players, like I said, a lot of coaches, sometimes like Pep, if you have that kind of striker, he will still stick to his like probably start Tammy Abraham, bring on Giroud because that's how he wanted to play. But Lampard starts him, and he proves just why he deserves to be started week in, week out. And I mean, for now, I think he's the best out-and-out striker that Chelsea have, and he really showed elements to his game that I think Tammy has to work on. It's not just getting those positions, but actually when the ball falls to your feet in and around the box, you're at least hitting the target. So he did fantastic for me.
And I think it's also important.
Again, everyone's fit, and Werner started wide again. I'm going to keep on bringing that point.
I like that.
Everybody was fit, and Werner still started out wide.
Pulisic wasn't fit for a 90.
That's why, right? Okay.
And 2, Giroud just got 4 goals in Champions League. Come on, he had to.
Okay, so you expect Werner to be the number 9 very soon?
If every striker is not scoring, Werner will play at number 9.
No,
but he won't. He might not actually be the number 9 soon because Ziyech is out. So things just happen in a nice way to make sure that he stays out on the left. But we'll see. We'll keep watching. And I think it's just important. It's the same way you have Giroud kind of, and I don't know if Tammy's the understudy, but Tammy learning from Giroud, I think it's the same thing that's kind of happening at United. And I think it's useful for those younger strikers to have someone who doesn't just like it to feed, someone who shows good movement in the box. Giroud is kind of the master of that near post run and just nicking in there and just putting it in back of net. I think having that improve the strikers.
The difference for me though is that I don't think United has that out and out understudy. For me, I don't know if Emeka disagree, but like we don't have someone in the build of Tammy or in the build of Cavani that's learning. Yeah, we have strikers, but they're a very different proposition as what like Tammy brings to the team.
Yes, I'm saying like they can learn.
They can learn. They can. Yeah, 100%. They can probably improve on that aspect of their game. Yeah,
for sure.
I definitely agree. For me, it was Alphonso Areola. I think if Fulham have any chance of staying in the league, he needs to maintain the form that he's shown so far and showed against City. City should have easily won that game 6-7. He made, I think, 4 great saves. And I think it might be the less glamorous pick for a player that had a really good weekend, especially when they considered 2, one of them being a penalty. But I thought he was instrumental to keeping Fulham in the game as long as they stayed in the game. And if they're going to stay up, I think his performances will be instrumental to that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Emeka? Who is yours?
For me, I already waxed lyrical about Højbjerg, so I'm going to go to Bruno now. His play, his presence, I feel just that presence, knowing he's on the pitch, and even a World Cup winner like Pogba sees Bruno come on, and you can see like he even got a bit more confidence. The change from that first half to second half is not is, like I said, is not just by luck. Rashford comes in as well, which also made a difference. But if it was Van de Beek isn't going to be finding Rashford like that. Van de Beek, as much as I like him, I'm a United fan, but like I feel it's clear now he should definitely play deeper, because you can't be a number 10 and be playing safe. That's for me, that's not how the role should be played. And I know there's some talk about Bruno's pass conversion and all that, but for me, if you're going to be a number 10, you shouldn't be getting 100% pass accuracy. That's not how the role should be played. So for me, it has to be Bruno. The transformation in that half, the chances they created, because I've had 3-4 assists so easily. And he's a difference maker. And for me, like I said, it's just that presence. Like knowing that he's on the pitch, I could see like the players were lifted so much. So for me, just because of the drastic difference in that first to second half and the impact he made, for me, it has to be Bruno Fernandes.
The players were absolutely lifted, and that was really, really great to see. It just seemed like there was a rise in sort of the performance level, Greenwood looking hungrier, people making more of those runs, because maybe they know that now he's going to try to find them. And I think movement in front of the player, like that's the thing. When you play without Bruno, and sometimes even with Bruno, he has the ball and like, who is moving, who is trying to get into space. But he came on today, and the players recognized that and we're moving into space. And I thought
really quick on that. I think when Bruno first came, he always expected that movement, and United players were not on the same wavelength to make ththose runs. But now the way they are, I think as soon as Bruno gets on the ball,
like Rashford is on his back already.
Because against West Ham, yes, they played a high block, but there were lots of times where Rashford is in behind, and it looked like he basically beat the line right on time, and it looked like he's offside.
Exactly, so much space. Perfectly timed. And once you time it like that, they have like 30 yards of space.
As opposed to before, when I think Bruno would play that part, and then Rashford would have to run onto it, and then the defender has a bit more time to catch up. So I think I don't know how sustainable it is, and obviously we're yet to see.
I would argue that it's not. If you guys keep playing and hoping for the second half to bail you out,
yes,
because you just brought up a point that I was about to get into, and I'll do it very, very briefly. I think we're not mentioning, and we're doing a disservice to West Ham in that first half by not mentioning that they should have put the game to bed. And easily, all this talk about Bruno coming on at halftime might not have meant anything. Haller missing open goals. Even in the second half, before Bruno's effect actually happened, Bowen missed an open goal from a good setup from I don't know if it's Soufal is how you say his name, or is it Koufal? Soufal. So I think there was an element of very poor finishing, and against the better side, you might not be as lucky. So you need to kind of sort out your first half form.
Of course, I don't think any United fan would disagree with that. But it just obviously that's what happened. So like nobody said, okay, we didn't take our chances against PSG, so always to go criticism for that. Like we could have won that game, and we didn't because we didn't take our chances. So that's football, And I said it yesterday as well. On Wednesday, I definitely think we played so much better. Like the level we played at on Wednesday compared to yesterday there was a big gap. But again, results. People are swayed only by results, and they don't actually objectively look at the performances. So Ole out on Wednesday for playing a good game against PSG, and naively conceding 2 goals at the end. But we managed to get away with one yesterday against West Ham, and it's like I don't know. He doesn't get criticism for that because we won the game. So I feel football fans should be a bit more, like we say on the show, it's not just about agenda. Like actually try and watch the game, and you want Ole out, fair enough, but if he does something right, give him credit. If he does something wrong, then fair enough.
And just always ask yourself, do I know ball? That's an important question. Well, who are players that you were least impressed with? For me, it was Mahrez. Put a lot of eggs in his basket for FPL. Took out Zaha, who I brought in specifically for 4 game weeks. He missed 3 of them due to COVID. Hoping for a Mahrez haul against Fulham, who we assumed were the whipping boys. Not necessarily that Mahrez had a really poor game. I just didn't really see too much to justify the switch that I made, and then Zaha goes and scores twice. So you can tell how my weekend has gone in that regard. But I would have wanted a little bit more from Mahrez. Who was it for you, Chinedu?
For me, I talked about how impressed I was by Giroud. Consequently, I was quite disappointed by Timo Werner. I think he's brought him to be that guy that gets you, 20, 25 goals a season. And just the way he is in front of goal, now on this his run of form, I don't see him getting 25 goals a season. I don't know who talked about that. I don't know if it was on this show, but someone said his movement off the ball and his positioning is better than his finishing. Like if his finishing was just as good as his movement, he would bag in easy 30 goals. And for me, that's just not something.
This is a ton of sitters every game. It's not even like the odd
and that's
sitter.
what I think.
But that's why you still get 30.
The first scary part
Probably.
was exactly because Sheikh Conte, he actually took away Giroud goal. So Giroud had it on target, it's going in when I tried to convert. And I think it's a thing of he lacks technical ability as well. Because he hits the ball every single time he scores, it's typically a certain way. And I don't think he knows how to score in other ways. Like he can't like throw his body at the ball to get a goal and stuff like that. So for me, it's like he lacks the ability.
Variation and finishing.
Yes, variation in finishing. So yesterday when he misses a chance, I'm like, okay, this is your 9 that's taken away. Maybe not your 9, but this is your 9.
But here's what's promising. You have someone like Vardy who didn't have that variation in finishing and is super fast. So you can see what the ceiling can look like for a super fast player who adds variation to his finishing.
But the problem with this is that if you ever want to convert him, and this is to touch on a point Fayem's before about him becoming 9, if you ever want to convert him to out and out 9, that finishing has to come a lot quicker than like you don't have the time to waste to say, okay, I'm going to give you 4 or 5 years to work on that. It has to be now. He has to become a finisher now if he's to justify his place in that team. For me, he shouldn't be still playing as much as he does, but they spent the money, is the price tag now speaking. And I just think that he has to do better in front of goal.
It's helping him bed in and get some time. I think consistency is key for a new player in a new league. If you take him out, 1, you shoot his confidence, and 2, I just think it doesn't help with his form as well because he doesn't get all those chances.
The same way about Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz, I think I haven't seen enough from Kai Havertz to even to think it's as promising as Werner. Like he's obviously a great player. The price tag will probably be eventually justified. But I've seen stuff from Werner to say, okay, I want to give him more time. Havertz, I also agree you should give him more time because he's a new player in a new league. But I haven't seen anywhere near enough from Havertz.
If you watch their non-prem games, you would see a lot from Havertz that encourage you to say, this guy has talent and maybe give this guy time. But then it's a thing of balancing time with, we need the results right now. We need you to actually carry your weight right now. And
I won't be too harsh on Havertz. Havertz is 21, I think. So I won't.
No, 100%. I think he has it. I was just asking if we're keeping that same energy. Werner is 24, so he has a long way to go. I think it's just that thing where, Emeka, you wanted to say something.
Yeah,
else, right?
No, I think with Werner, it's one of those ones that, like Fayem said, he's just starting out in the Premier League. So it's best to leave him in now and let his confidence continue to grow, because with strikers, they always say it's better for you to get in those positions and miss than not to even have the chances to miss in the first place. So eventually, when there's more confidence, he will be better. But it's clear that he's not. He's a good goal scorer, but he's not the most natural finisher. You can see his shooting technique isn't the cleanest, but his movement is so good and he's so quick that he's going to still get you 25, 30 easily. So I will still, especially at the way Chelsea is right now, there's going to be a lot of goals from playing him on the left. He can still get easily 20, 25. Then you have Giroud can get you 20. Tammy can get you 15, 20. So I think it's in terms of the balance of the team, I prefer it that way than having 2 pure wingers like Pulisic and let's say Ziyech on the wings. Then Werner, I think there's more goal potential playing Werner on the left. Then you can still have a proper number 9. Then you can have Ziyech to also deliver the
creativity.
So I think it's good for now.
Yeah. Last point that I just wanted to say, I think they can ride the wave of playing him as long as they're getting the results. And then I think it starts to be a lot more concerning if they stop getting the results.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's the same even with Pepe, Nicolas Pepe at Arsenal. That was my issue with Arteta and Emery. Everyone's getting on his back. He's not performing. But you never see Pepe play 10, 12 games in a row. He's always for some. And for wide players, it's easy to get isolated when you don't get those runs of games, and your confidence is that is everything as a wide player.
As a forward, actually, I think confidence is 70% of the game.
The goal Son scored today is because his confidence is here.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because think about it, to be at that level, you have to have bags of ability anyway. So what's the differentiator for the most part is that confidence. I always reference Jamie Vardy in the season Leicester won the league. He was scoring goals from half line against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And so the willingness to try things and then also to believe that those things will work out, it comes from confidence. And
you have the ability to make it happen.
That's the biggest thing. ability, they'll always have that ability.
Yeah, Emeka, what's your did we go through your player?
Yeah, so my most disappointing, I would say Aubameyang. I feel it's slightly harsh because again, strikers they feed off service, so I feel it's a bit harsh to pick him out, but I will because when Arsenal are playing well and he's banging in goals, he gets all the credit. So against your biggest rivals today, you've been on a losing run. Um, your team isn't playing well. You're the captain. You asked for you got this new contract, all the hype and everything. So again, I feel it's a bit harsh, but I will pick him out because I didn't see enough fire from him. You don't have to score. I'm not even saying that he didn't score. Like you don't have to score, but I didn't see that leadership from the front. I didn't see that desire, that pressing. He seemed a bit lethargic. He seemed a bit dispirited. Like things aren't really going well at the moment. And your captain himself is you can see he's like suffering from that. And I feel as an Arsenal captain, I feel I wanted to see more against his biggest rivals today, especially when the man that you're constantly compared against, Harry Kane, is on the other side, defending in his own half the whole game. Again, not saying that Aubameyang should do that, but there's this passion and desire that Harry Kane showed me today that I was a bit disappointed to see Aubameyang look, very timid.
They've choked out the passion and love from that team.
I said that.
Nobody looks happy to play in that team.
I said this a couple of weeks ago, and I remember.
And can you hear Arteta saying, "Willian, like he's telling them who to pass to." So this man don't even have any autonomy to make decisions in the final third. Mourinho will be doing that in a defensive situation. Once you cross the halfway line, do your thing.
100%, Emeka. Because a couple of weeks ago, perhaps you remember when I said Aubameyang just sometimes it's not about scoring goals, but carry your team, right? And that's one thing I was talking about. What you talked about, Bruno, and presence is let me know that because you're on the field, we're better for it. But Aubameyang has kind of sat back and taken up the role of a pedestrian on a shit team, and the language, on a crap team. And so now he looks
deep analysis there.
Now he looks mediocre just like the rest of them, and that's concerning because you know the quality of Aubameyang.
Absolutely. Now switching gears, let's go to some corporate America speak to the matches that have high impact in the Champions League this week. We have 6 matches that are really important that the winner would decide who goes through to the Champions League, and just the result actually just decides who finishes second in their groups. We'll start off with probably the biggest for everyone, Leipzig at home to Man United. What do you guys think about that? Sabe Meka.
So I think United will get a result, and I feel the reason why I'll back them is also because they can afford to get a draw, and I feel because Leipzig have to win, I think it's going to be perfectly suited for United to break on them and get the goals they need. So I can see in this game, I can see a score draw. But for me, I with United, they're not the perfect team, far from. But one thing I've noticed in more often than not in big games that they need to get a result from and they need to win, or get a result from, they normally do. And
let's jog on the line.
I can see them getting a score draw here because Leipzig, again, like last time, they're very naive in the way they play. They play fantastic football and they're very well coached, but they're definitely susceptible at the back. And Upamecano is suspended. I think
Upamecano is out. Yeah,
so he's suspended as well. So I can see Rashford and Greenwood on the break from Fernandes through balls, and I can definitely see United getting maybe a 1-1 or 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I think just echoing what Emeka said is that 1 point to qualify for United. It's hard to see how we don't get a result, or how they don't get a result. And at the end of the day, Leipzig is a bit inexperienced in terms of they have a bunch of younger players, and they're going to want to come out and just be aggressive from the start. And that sometimes suits us, like you look at the West Ham game, right, where you have runners in behind. And so there'll be goals in that game, I think. I think there'll be goals in that game. I'm not going to say if we win or we don't win, but I know we get a result.
Watch it just be a 0-0. That's always how football works.
They just screenshot this.
I'll take that.
Just record this part of it. And
United fans will snatch your hand off with that.
I'll take that for sure.
We have Mönchengladbach at home to Real Madrid, as well as Inter at home to Shakhtar. I think so. If Inter win and Madrid, I think Mönchengladbach beat Madrid. Inter go through. I think it's in Inter's hands though. If Inter win their game, is my understanding.
Inter have 5 points now.
Inter have 5 points.
And they've
And
risen from the
their
ashes.
head-to-head is lower than Madrid. So if
Yeah.
Madrid lose, they stay on 7. Inter win, they go to 8. They go through.
Yeah.
If Madrid beat,
if they draw, if Madrid and Gladbach draw, then Inter are gone.
Then Inter are gone. Yeah. So if there's a winner in that game, Inter go through. Inter home to
If they beat
Shakhtar.
Shakhtar, yeah.
I back Inter to beat Shakhtar at home with the stakes so
Yeah.
high. And Mönchengladbach Madrid is probably what it's going to come down to, because Madrid at home, you would think they have that Bernabeu effect, but they've lost at home to Shakhtar, surprisingly. So what do you guys think will happen in the Emeka?
So I picked Gladbach and Madrid to go through, but Madrid are playing some horrible football at the moment, and I think that just because of pedigree, I don't think they will win, but I think they will get a draw. I think they'll get a draw because, like, for Madrid to get knocked out in the group stages, Zidane will be in big trouble. So I see Madrid getting a draw. So I see Gladbach dominating that game, but Madrid being able to get a draw because Gladbach are playing some really good football as well. So what I definitely see Madrid scraping through and getting a draw.
We need that Toni Kroos Aubameyang link up in Europa. So
yeah, I see a Gladbach and Madrid draw.
What do you think, Chinedu?
Yeah, I would agree with that in terms of, I mean, Madrid has been playing some horrible. I don't even know what adjective to describe it.
Harambo.
Haram close, just not getting. If you play Harambo, you get results at least. It's just horrible. But at the end of the day, I remember we had talked about this and we had talked about pedigree, right? And I still back them to go through, right? I think Zidane might have to change up a few things. I think Marcelo might come into the team, not because he deserves to, just because those are the kind of players that understand what this game is about. So, like, he would be willing to take down a guy that is still on goal. And sometimes you need that kind of mentality. You need
experience.
Mendy is pretty much Aaron Wan-Bissaka, not giving you much going forward, even though he's a good defender. And I think Marcelo is not that. Maybe even the opposite, and you might need that in a game like this where you want to be on the front foot.
Yeah, and it's just having someone that understands the degree. Like, if, like you just said, if Madrid do not make it out of this, out of group stages, that is huge. Like, that is huge. I need someone that understands that to a T. And so I think he's going to go for a more experienced team. You know, Modric, Kroos in the mid.
You see those the Champions League winning boys. A lot of them will be back in.
So
so it'll be a tough one.
I think they get the results. Borussia Mönchengladbach is a very exciting team to watch. I love watching.
They've shot themselves in the foot. They should have wrapped this up a while ago.
Correct. Yeah. But I think it's one of those things where it's system where I think they go for the attack every single time because they are too exciting. And I don't know. I think Inter was great last time out because they needed the results. I don't know if they can keep that high level every single time because somehow they are here now. I thought they'd be gone by now, but somehow they're here now.
Trust Antonio Conte. He hears what we say about his European record. He's trying to change
He's going out again.
What do you think about Lazio at home to Brugge? Lazio just need a point. They have 9 points. Brugge have 7. And that's really the only match that matters in that group. What do we think?
Yeah, I think it should be a comfy one.
I think Lazio gets 3.
Yeah. I
think
they go through.
Atalanta, Ajax.
That's a tricky one. I'll just go Atalanta just for their firepower.
So disappointing drawing to Midtjylland and just
they bottled that. But yeah, I'll go Atalanta just. I know Ajax are at home. I mean, technically, even though they're no fans, but I'll go Atalanta just because their scoring potential, and they got to the quarterfinals last year.
Yeah.
So I think just that, just a follow up from that and the ginger. I think they would edge it, but it would be very close. Let's say a 2-1.
I think it's unfair to say, you know, it's disappointing for them to get a tie against Midtjylland because that was Midtjylland's good play as opposed to Atalanta just not being good.
But at home.
Yeah.
To seal your
progression.
Potentially, yeah.
Yes, but when a team is playing like, you know,
it's just like let's even say away. So Leipzig away to Istanbul Başakşehir, who started playing well after they went down. If Leipzig didn't get those 3 points, I would still say, regardless of how well Istanbul played, you can pretty much put pressure on everyone else. Please, you have to win that game.
Yeah, for me, I looked at that game and I said, you know, Midtjylland has basically put their all into this game, and they deserve at least a point. But I think, just like Emeka said, I think Atalanta goes through. I don't think Ajax will go through at all. I don't think they have the what am I trying to say? I don't think they have the current form to upset Atalanta's firepower. And so I think they definitely will get beat on the day.
Atleti away to Red Bull Salzburg. If you ever watch CBS All Access, you'll see that they're in love with, I think his name is Jesse Marsh, because he was an American player.
Always.
When Pulisic came to Chelsea, that's
the problem with watching sports in America. They literally say, "Oh, there are 8 Americans playing the Champions League today." Bro, I don't care. No one cares. Half of them are not starting.
They're the original agenda review guys.
Yeah, they are, and they are shameless with it. They are very shameless with it. I think Atleti gets the result. I think one person I'm super impressed with recently, João Felix. He's just off the back of a La Liga Player of the Month. He's really coming to his own at Atleti, and I think a lot of people doubted him because they thought the system doesn't fit him. But I think
Simeone has adapted that 4-4-2 to put him in a bit more.
Correct.
In a bit more space and have more runners. People like Carrasco always running off him when they play with Correa. So I think he's getting in positions where he can actually do damage versus the pure 4-4-2 that he used to go with before. And Felix is not really a supporting striker. He really is more of a 10 strike with a striker's instinct.
He's so intelligent, and he's intelligent with soft as well. So I think end of the day, Atleti has the firepower to go through. That's my take.
They just need a point. Emeka, what do you think?
They get 2 points.
It's Atleti will go through based on experience, based on their manager, but I think it'll be a lot of people think Salzburg, they're a decent team, and with like Karim Adeyemi and was like they have Adeyemi's pace is ridiculous. They have goal scoring potential. Atleti in the Champions League, I was just looking like they're not really scoring that many goals.
Which is so odd because they're like top scoring in La Liga.
Yeah, they're scoring in the league. So I think it'll be a tough one. It could very well be a draw. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw, but I think Atleti will go.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But they'll get a scare for sure.
Okay, awesome. So that's a wrap on the Champions League. Let's quickly run through fixtures from now to tomorrow. Not till tomorrow, till next week's fixtures. We'll tally later. So it'll be 3 points for everyone who gets the result accurate and 1 point for just the outcome correct. So I'll start going through mine. I have Brighton Southampton as a 2-2. Leeds West Ham 2-1. Wolves Villa 2-1. And I'm just saying in terms of the home side. So Leeds 2, West Ham 1, Wolves 2, Villa 1, Newcastle 1, West Brom 1, Man United 1, City 2. Everton 2, Chelsea 2, Southampton 2, Sheffield 1, Palace 0, Spurs 2, Fulham 1, Liverpool 3, Arsenal 2, Burnley 1, Leicester 1, Brighton 1.
So who's going to tally all this now?
I'll tally it during the week. Okay. Yeah, Emeka, what do you have?
All right, I've got Brighton 1, Southampton 2. I've got Leeds 2, West Ham 1. I've got Man United 1, City 2. I've got Wolves 1, Villa 0. Newcastle 2, West Brom 0. Everton 1, Chelsea 2. Crystal Palace 0, Spurs 2. Fulham 0, Liverpool 2. Arsenal 2, Burnley 0. And Leicester Brighton 1-1. Actually, Southampton and Sheffield for Southampton's second fixture for next week. Southampton 2, Sheffield 0.
Okay. Chinedu, what do you have?
I'm going Leeds 3, West Ham 1. Wolves 1, Aston Villa 0. United 1, City 2. Newcastle 2, West Brom 1. I'm going Everton is going to take the L against Chelsea, so that's going to be a nice 3-1 in Chelsea's favor. I'm going to do Sutton 2, Sheffield 0. Spurs 3, Crystal Palace 1. Liverpool is going to definitely flog Fulham, so 4-0. Leicester Brighton, that game is going to be shit. So I'm going to go 2-1 in Leicester's favor. And then Arsenal Burnley 1-1.
I don't think we're giving enough credence to the Arsenal-Burnley game. That's actually the Haram Ball Classico.
1-1. That's why I said
that's
1-1.
going to be the match of the weekend. If you're
1-1.
looking to,
And
to
also
sort out
Fulham,
your insomnia, that's going to be
and
the
also
match of
and
the
also
weekend.
Fulham. Every week, everyone's predicting them to get destroyed, and they
To
don't.
get smacked.
That's
No,
Don't
but
say
you know,
this.
everyone is people have been wasting triple captaincy against Fulham, and they're just wasting their time because it's not happening.
The
So
Brenner
like
would have
after
worked though. The Brenner would have worked.
at the first few fixtures, yeah, they were getting smashed, but
Yeah.
they're actually getting a bit better defensively. It's been tough. They've been
And Gisa,
Agisa, yeah, exactly. They beat.
he's dribbling. Because I was just explaining to
he's a
someone on
tank.
Twitter today in terms of effective dribblers, and Partey was top for La Liga last season, and Gisa was second. His dribbling is up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do the last thing, which is very, very briefly, what went wrong for you on FPL, what went right for you on FPL. For me, so my guy who does not know ball has Kane, Son, DCL, Bruno, KDB, Captain, and Zaha. I brought in Zaha for the 4 game weeks that were all green, super simple fixtures. He all of a sudden gets COVID, misses 3 of them. I take him out after Mahrez has a 20-something point haul. Bring him in. Mahrez gets me 3. Zaha that I took out gets 15. Okay, fine. I don't have Son and Kane anymore. I was scared of the fixture turn. Ended up not matching at all. I don't know. I felt like they'll score, but I felt like the changes that I made would score more because I didn't think all of a sudden the Spurs would stop scoring. And DCL, I took him out because the fixtures turned. Well, I guess I would say I expected him to have like an okay game in this game, and he did. But I think the next 3 fixtures are really hard. But out of all those 6 players I listed, I only have Bruno, who they brought off the bench, and KDB luckily captained him. So that's my quick summary of FPL week. Chinedu, what was yours? Give us a light summary.
My summary is that I've actually hung up my FPL boots as of this week. So everything that could go wrong went wrong for me. Is that first of all, I knew I had to take off my Aston Villa assets because they weren't playing.
So can I interrupt you very quickly?
Yeah.
I made my changes early last week because I thought price rises would happen, whatever. So I took out DCL for Wilson, and then they canceled their game. So I'm just like, bro. And then I had Grealish and Martinez my keeper. So 3 players didn't even play.
Yeah. And mine was kind of just like that in terms of I knew I had to take out my Aston Villa assets, but I didn't clock that they were playing Newcastle. So I actually took off Watkins for Wilson because I'm mad. and then everything that could go wrong this week went wrong. So just as I didn't start, because I now had Wilson, who's a heavy hitter for me, not playing, I had to put in a crap guy. Long story short, I'm currently sitting on 28 points in a league that, in a league that between 2nd and 6th, the difference was like 10. And so now I'm down to like 7. So as of today, I'm officially done with FPL. I'll no longer be giving my insights on the game.
So that's one place where you don't know ball. That's what I'm saying. How is it for you?
It was okay. My worst decision was Mahrez, and that's the thing. Like, and I'm never a prisoner of the moment in the sense where I try not to bring in a guy the week after they do really well, especially
so like Fulham. It was Fulham.
Exactly, but so it seems so logical, but like that's just FPL for you. It just doesn't work out that way. The
I have to hold though. You have to hold. Yeah,
I guess. Positive for me, I captained Sterling, so that was nice, 26 points. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, Fernandez, okay, Calvert-Lewin, Reece James got an assist, which was good, but overall, yeah, just have 48 points. So it wasn't the best week, but it could have been worse.
I just want to add so that you guys understand my pain and why I'm hanging up my boots. Okay, I had and Fires can testify to this. I've had Zaha since game week 1. I didn't hop on his Zaha train. I've had Zaha and Grealish the whole time they've been performing. Okay. I've had Zaha, and prior to this week, I had Zaha in my team. I had Kane as well, and I took those guys off and brought on Jota and ZH. ZH then gets injured yesterday, gets me 1 point, and now he's injured, and I have to replace him again. Played my wild card. There's nothing good about this game. Scratch the whole thing.
So whether you're analyzing the game, doing a deep dive, sharing your opinion on social media, or just watching the game, always remember to ask yourself, do I really know ball?